you want people to do when they're scrolling their news feed for content? If you know the answer, type it below. Because for us, like for live streamers, business owners, basically anyone who's posting in social media, the one thing that they want people to do is to stop scrolling and actually read or watch the content. So how can you do that? That's basically, if you want to stand out, you have to have an amazing design, and not just an amazing design, but actually a design that speaks about your brand. So today, that's what we're going to talk about in the BeLive Masterclass. I'm Irene Chan, and this is actually BeLive Masterclass episode 3. And please stay tuned because I have an amazing guest later that she will be joining us, and we'll talk all about branding, and you can ask her questions live. So in the meantime, if this is the first time that you are watching a show from BeLive, I'd like to introduce myself. And let me just share my screen here. And let us know what time is it from your end. Like it's 8:04 p.m. my time. Okay. And for our guests, it's actually Central Time. So, okay, let me know, guys, if you can see my screen. So, welcome to the BeLive Masterclass. And so what to expect from this masterclass today. So learn more how to use branding elements using BeLive. And we'll try to cover as well like basics about BeLive in general. But today we'll be focusing on branding because that's the most important part of your live stream, like the first thing that catches people's attention. And you will get tips and inspirations from other BeLivers. And that's what I'm talking about. Like we will have an amazing guest. Our team is actually a big fan of her because she's amazing at branding your live streams, and we always use it as an example. And basically know how you can use and leverage BeLive for your business. And hopefully we'll be able to like cover a lot about that today as well and give you specific examples. So this is one of the brands or one of the examples of branding elements that you can use for your BeLive shows. So this is like a wrestling show, and I want to say hi to Kevin because he's our designer, and he is actually a wrestling fan. And guys, sorry, for some reason, every time I'm live streaming, someone is calling me. Okay. Sorry about that. It was like ringing in my ear. And okay. So let's go back to presenting. That's the beauty of live. Like anything can happen and you just have to like deal with it. So, okay. So this is our one of the BeLive users. And I just wanted to show you how like your streams can look so different, but when I share with you like the back end that's going on in the studio, it's actually super easy. So you can shape it into anything you want, and it's super easy as long as, of course, you already have your branding. So we have here Janet Smith. So as I was telling earlier, she's actually one of our favorite BeLivers, and we've like have tons of screenshots of her broadcast because she's amazing in using overlays and backgrounds. And we will learn from her directly as to how you're able to do that. Okay, and if this is the first time that you're watching a BeLive show, or if this is the first time you're hearing about BeLive, why is she doing a masterclass? Who the hell is she? So I'm Irene Chan. So I'm the marketing manager at BeLive. So even before I joined joined BeLive as a teammate, I have been doing live streams and I have been using BeLive as well. So it was like at the height of the Facebook Live that I started using BeLive. And so far, I've actually done 203 live broadcasts. That's pretty amazing. I wish I could do more, but that's my goal for 2020 is to do more live streams. And I had like 50 concurrent live viewers. That is also super cool. And 1,000 comments so far and 387 total and reactions received. So that's me. I have been using BeLive. I've been there since the beginning. And I saw all the iterations of BeLive, and I also know the community, which is my favorite part of my job as marketing manager. So who are the people using BeLive? So we have here Lee. So first, let me say so far, I'm very impressed with what I can do with BeLive, especially without requiring a lot of gear. And that's so true. So if you're watching this for the first time and you're wondering, like, I don't have any experience about live streaming or video at all, you don't have to worry because you don't need like a lot of experience. Basically, if you are using your computer for email and you're using it for like general marketing purposes, you'll be able to use BeLive. And these are other business owners and content creators that are using BeLive. So we have, and from different industries. So we have Vanessa. She's like the most awesome person in the world. I love her. And we are actually organizing a show together, which I will promote later. And we also have Ray Higdon, also an amazing speaker. And of course, Melissa is also an amazing, she has an amazing story of how she became, like, she was a nurse, but then she became like a marketing expert for the direct sales. So that's amazing story. And you can find all of these stories on our blog, which I will also share later. So basically, people that are using BeLive are content creators, solopreneurs, SMBs, and the goal is for them to reach new audiences and basically establish trust with their potential customers. And a lot of people are using it as part of their lead generation. So yeah, you can connect with amazing BeLivers from around the world on the BeLivers group. We will also link that on the description. So first things first, first you need to sign up for a BeLive account. If you haven't yet, you have to do it now. Or maybe later after the masterclass. So sign up for BeLive. It's free. It's 14 days free, and you will get the chance to try all of the features. And then we'll also have a free account that you can use if you're not willing to pay yet. And of course, you need to create a broadcast or schedule it. The one that you're watching right now is actually a scheduled broadcast. And then, of course, the main thing today is to choose your theme, color, overlay, and background. So that's the main thing that we're gonna do today. And I wanna walk you through, like, just give you a snapshot, but I will do a live demonstration so you can actually see it live, how we're changing all the branding elements. So this is how it looks like in the studio. So I always describe BeLive, like, for the first time, for if it's your first time hearing about BeLive, I always say that it's like the Canva of live streaming, because you are actually like have this screen and it's so easy to use because you have all these icons. So the paintbrush icon, it brings you to all of the branding elements. So we have the theme, so you can actually choose the theme. Currently, I'm using a modern theme. And then, of course, you will have your logo. So if you have a paid account, you will be able to upload your own logo and overlay, which is my favorite part. And yeah, and then the background. So basically, those are the four branding elements or appearance, and you can find all of them under the paintbrush icon. And the great thing about it is, like, you can choose and change them while you're live. Okay, so I'm gonna show it to you live. Okay, let's see all of the comments so far. Hello, Stephen. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm gonna switch to this view because it's doing a matrix thing when I do the other view. Hello, Irene. Hello, Irene. Hello, Stephen. So Stephen is our amazing moderator from the BeLivers group. You should join the BeLivers group because Stephen is like amazing. He knows everything about BeLive and live streaming. Any tool that you will think of that's related to live streaming, Stephen has tried it and he can give you tips. Thank you, Stephen, for joining us. So now, right now, I'm gonna change the elements that you see in the broadcast. So I'm gonna choose right here. So I clicked on the paintbrush icon, and I'm choosing the modern theme just because I like it. And also for the classic, it has like bigger text and bolder color. So that's what this is actually the old look of the BeLive before we had the new studio. And then, of course, we have the logo. So I can put like the logo here. And the overlay. So overlay is my favorite part. One cool thing that I discovered is that you can actually use an animated GIF or GIF, whichever side you're on, for the GIF and GIF um, war. So like you can upload an animated GIF and then you can use it as your overlay. So this was like the things that I uploaded during Christmas time when I was doing the holiday special uh, broadcast. So, but we have pre-existing templates that you can use here. This one was for Thanksgiving, and like this one is also my favorite. Like it's confetti falling, so it's super fun. So yeah, basically super easy. You can use the existing ones that are uploaded on the BeLive Studio. So like this one, I think this is one of the free ones that I like. I think it's pretty cool, and it also has like a YouTube kind of vibe. Um, Hello, Rashid. Thank you so much for joining. And for those who are joining, what's one word to describe your branding? And let me switch back to the modern theme. Okay. I'm a minimalist and I like the clean look. And so we talk about theme, we've talked about logo, we talked about overlay, we talk about now we're going to talk about background. So this is the background of like kind of the BeLive background, like that's the Studio 2 design. But of course you can use our existing ones. So if you're a writer, I think I like this one if I'm interviewing a writer like I did a few weeks ago. Hi KM if you're watching. So we have an interview with KM, and that's like the background that I chose. So that's one, like you can easily switch that, and you can also upload your own background. So, and we will actually, so I think it's actually time because I've shown you everything that I think you have to see in the BeLive Studio 2. And now it's time to learn from the expert. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a very special guest. Her name is Janet Smith. I gave you a peek of her broadcast earlier, but now it's time to actually ask her live for your questions. So welcome, Janet.
Hello, Irene. So glad to be here.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure to have you, and thank you so much for waking up early. I know it's super early for you, but I really appreciate it. When we were like planning the master class and we are gonna focus on branding, you are the first person that came to mind because on the BeLivers, you are one of the best examples of how you're able to utilize like the frame, like it all looks so put together. So we're so glad that you're here. And like for the BeLivers who are new, we would love to know more about you. So like, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and also a little bit about like the specific design of your branding?
Well, I love to educate, encourage, empower entrepreneurs as well as employees. So that's what goes into my branding for all three of my channels. I have three different pages and three different businesses that I brand. And I just like to be a resource. My background is in human resources. I've been in human resources for over 20 years, specifically in recruitment resourcing, which is how I opened or launched my niche recruitment and staffing business. So basically, what goes into my branding for all of my businesses is being a resource. I bring my passion to the people or to my audience. So I like to design my branding with the idea in mind that if you're coming to watch my video in the very beginning, as soon as it starts, or if you're coming in the middle of my video, I want you to know who you're watching and what you're watching. So it's important for me to put those elements in my frames, in my background, in my overlays as well. So while I have three different channels, my goal is to be consistent in all of them, to have them the same but a little bit different. So my presentation style is the same for all of them, but of course the branding colors are a little bit different. And a cool story, I actually won my first frame design over the summer in July of last year from the resident Kevin, your BeLive graphic design guru, Kevin designed my first free frame, and I won it actually in a contest, which was so cool. So that's how it all started. Thanks to Kevin. He gave me the first design, and it's just grown since then. It's been awesome.
Oh, I'm so glad that you actually mentioned that. I remember that contest, and I
Yes,
remember Kevin telling me that I think Janet is so happy with what I did, and he was so happy. So, yeah, maybe we should do
that
another
was awesome.
contest. Actually, this just gave me an idea. So, I'm doing an impromptu contest. So, if you're
Yay.
watching this live right now, and if you want our own Kevin, so Kevin is our graphic design, the marketing team. So if you want to win a session with Kevin, and also we will create all the frames for you and all the background, you just comment below. What's one word to describe your branding, and then a link to your YouTube channel or your Facebook group or Facebook page where you do um, your lives. So if you do that, we will pick one winner, and you will get the
That's
chance to
awesome.
have your own branding elements created by the our resident designer. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for reminding that, Janet. So you mentioned that you had three different channels, and you present the same in terms like, but it's slightly different in terms of colors and stuff. So like, how do you decide like the colors of each channel? Do you have like a process for that?
So in deciding the colors for my channel, because I believe that we're not icons, we're not colors as far as your personal branding. However, I like to choose the colors that give my audience a certain feel. So there's websites that you can use that tell you what different emotions color gives your audience. So that's kind of what I've used for each of my three different brands with my recruitment and staffing business. Using the color blue emits a feeling of trust, and using the color green emits a color of growth or a feeling of growth. And the color orange is a color of excitement and encouragement and motivation. So those are the three colors that I use for my recruitment and staffing business because one, I want them to trust me. I want them to trust the information that I'm sharing with them. And I want them to grow in their career, which is why I use the green. And I want them to be excited about growing their career intentionally. So those are the colors or the main colors that I use with my niche recruitment and staffing business. So it's really not necessarily your favorite colors, although you can use your favorite colors, but you want to use colors that give your audience a feel because you're there for your audience, right? You're there to provide some type of value for your audience, whether it's entertainment or education. Mine is along the lines of education and being a resource. So that's what goes into the color of my branding. And I think it's a good thing to keep in mind when you're trying to think of colors for your own brand.
I think that's brilliant. So like, there's actually a kind of a science behind the association of the colors, and
Yeah.
because most of the time, like, you would pick your favorite color, but you actually have to like go deeper. And I know like in the food industry, like orange is a really good color.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so uh, like
It's a
a
color of
lot of
excitement.
exactly. So yeah, that could be like a great color combination, and I think it's also important to have you like your personality as well in terms of like kind of the branding elements. Like for me, I think I mentioned earlier, I am a minimalist. So
Right.
like the design would kind of like, would it be minimalist? Like how many colors are you choosing? So I think there's also a lot of things going on in terms of branding beyond like what people see, like the frames and like all the other colors. Do you
Mhm.
purposely choose your like the way your the color of your clothes, or like how you present yourself in general in the camera?
So when I have my shows, yes, my goal is to coordinate or complement the entire look of my show or the entire look of my live stream. So typically when I do my recruitment show, I'm either in a light blue color or maybe an orange color. And when I do my other shows, like I have a show for my direct sales business, which is 31, and I'm encouraging and affirming people and sharing with them how to conquer their life in style. So my branding colors with that are more of pink hues and natural tones, kind of like the colors that I'm wearing right now, which are more calming but exciting at the same time. So I do try to incorporate my clothes with my frames as well. And with each seasonal catalog change, the background of my live streams are a little bit different as well. I try to keep that along with the season and the theme of that year's catalog or that year's magazine when I'm doing my direct sales businesses as well. So I try to keep it consistent in the design, but I add a little bit of flair with some of the background that I use as well.
I love it. It seems like you have a lot of like knowledge in terms of like all the things that are going on in terms of branding and design. Like, I'd love to know what's your background. Is it because I know you're a solopreneur? You mentioned that like off air earlier. So I guess we can talk a little bit more about that. As a solopreneur, you said you're basically doing everything. So like, what was your core skills, and is it including design?
Well, my background is human resources. I've been in human resources for over 20 years. So my desire or my passion is to be a resource, which is why I really love the idea of live streaming. It just makes me feel like I'm more accessible to my audience because very often that's what sets you apart from those who you perceive to be your competition. If you are one that your audience can easily get in contact with or easily interact with, that makes you a prominent differentiator. That puts you one step ahead of your perceived competition. So I love to be a resource for my audience, and which is why I went into the field of human resources, but to shed a little bit more light of just the my passion or my desire for design is I'm a geeky girl. I love tech. I love gadgets and I love to create. So my hobbies include drawing, knitting, card design, crafts. I love doing things with my hands. So I love to do all things tech and to learn how to use new software, new hardware, new apps. If you saw the apps that are on my phone, you would probably be like, how can you find anything? But it's all in its place. So I'm a geeky girl, which is why I love to just research and try and create different designs.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of actually like using BeLive as well, because you don't have to, you don't need design experience, or you don't need to
Right,
be technical. You just have to be like you like to learn and explore stuff.
right.
So yeah.
Exactly.
So Janet, can you tell us? So you mentioned the tools that you have on your phone. Like, what are the tools that you're using to create like all the design elements, including the frames and the backgrounds? And yeah, and can you provide us some tips on how to like utilize that tool?
Well, my all-time favorite sites to use to create the live streams that I use are two, really. The top two is Canva, and the second one is actually Ripple.
Mm.
So I use Canva to create my backgrounds. I use it to create my frames as well as my overlay. And I like to use Canva to create the background because that way I can make sure that everything is cohesive, that everything matches. And I like to import some of those slides that I've created in Canva over into Ripple. And Ripple is a great source that you can use to create videos. And I use it to create my intro as well as my outro videos. You can make them really short and sweet and very much branded because you've created everything in Canva. And Ripple is awesome because you can use slides, you can use pictures, or you can also upload videos to use for your like pre-made videos to use for your design as well. And just like Canva has the templates for the page, Ripple has templates for video, which is pretty awesome. So I love to use both of those in my design. And if I were to give tips to those that wanted to get more into designing their own frame or designing their brand or creating their brand, I use the word tip to provide my tips. T, I would say, tell them who you are. Tell them about your show if you're creating a recurring show. If you don't have a recurring show, tell them about you. So if you have a show, put the name of your show in your overlay or in your frame. If you don't have a show, put your own name in the frame of your show or in your overlay. And Canva is a great resource to do that because you can use a really cool scripted font that looks like you wrote on the screen. It looks like your signature. So that's my first tip. Tell them who you are so that if they're coming in the beginning of the video or if they're coming in the middle of the video, they're going to know who they're watching. They're going to know what they're watching. And the I in tip that I would give you is inquire as to who's in the audience. Be inquisitive or be concerned about who's watching. Ask questions. So, this is where I would say the call to action would come in. Ask them a question to get them involved in your live stream. Let them know that you're excited about giving your time because you are giving your time and you want to let them know that you're accessible to them. It's frustrating to try to reach out to someone and can't reach them. If you're live streaming, that says one, you care about your audience and you want to make yourself available to them. You're accessible to them. So ask questions to get them engaged. And you can put that question on the screen so you don't have to keep repeating it over and over in your live stream. Put it on the screen, put it in your frame, or put it in the crawler that BeLive has so that you don't have to repeat it over and over. And the P that I would give for tip is to promote your purpose and your presentation and your priorities. And what I mean by that is, why are you coming live anyway? You're coming to share your passion. So share that with the name of your show. The name of your show could be your purpose for your live stream. And you want to be consistent in your presentation. Change is good, but yes, you want to be consistent in the style that you have for your frame or for your live stream so that when people see it, they're like, oh, I know that show. That's Janet's show, or that's Irene's show, or that's Marco's show. I know that show because he's consistent in his presentation. Hi, Marco. So promote your presentation, promote your purpose and your priorities. Basically, be you. Share your passion, bring your passion, but do that in a consistent way so that when you do show up, people will have that sense of familiarity and that sense of trust. They're going to tune in because you're coming on regularly and because they also love the value that you're sharing and that you're giving them.
That's so awesome. I love the tip. So easy to remember. And yes, hello Marco. Thank you so much for joining. And speaking of like engaging and knowing about your audience, Marco, let us know what's one word to describe your branding. So I know Marco is like also one of the pioneer BeLivers, and like I know about his brand. So, but Marco, let us know what's one word to describe your brand, and where can people learn more about you, and also Stephen and Rashid. So, thank you so much for joining. And Janet, so where can people find you to learn more about your businesses and about more tips for your live streams?
Well, definitely, I would love to connect Janet Smith, but you can find my niche recruitment and staffing business is talentsmiths.net, and that's with an S, talentsmiths.net. And you can find my 31 business is personalizeyourgift.net, as well as me providing encouragement and encouraging people to be bold in their passion at 300 dandelion seeds as well. Those are my three shows, educating, empowering, encouraging entrepreneurs as well as employees to grow their personal brand as well as their professional brand intentionally.
Thank you so much for your time today, Janet. We learned so much, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much, Irene.
Thank you so much for joining us.
All
Bye.
right, bye.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Janet. I learned so much, especially the new tool you mentioned, Ripple. I haven't tried that, and I'm definitely going to discover that as well. Because I've been using Canva, and our team sometimes uses Canva if our designer is kind of full. So yes. So just in case this is the first time that you're catching us live, basically just to sum up everything that we've covered so far is how you can easily use BeLive so you can stand out on your streams. So that's what we covered. And Janet gave us some really, really good tips on how you can coordinate everything, not just about like your on-screen elements, but also what you wear and your background so that like they all come together. So make sure, like if you're just joining right now, make sure to go back on the replay and check out the tips. And we will also include all of Janet's links below so that you can easily find her. So I have one more surprise. So let me share my screen. And basically, what are the next steps that you can do for your like broadcast and everything? So, okay, I have to exit full screen. Okay, so let me know if you can see my screen. I want to make sure that you can. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to have kind of like a summary of what you can do next, especially if this is the first time that you're watching a live video from BeLive. So make sure to sign up for a BeLive account. We also put the link on the description. It's free. It's free for 14 days. And you have also the option to continue with the free account. You won't have as much like flexibility in terms of branding, but it's definitely going to suit your purpose if it's your first time going live and you want to try how it works out for you. And of course, visit our blog. So it's blog.be.live, and you will have more resources on how you can learn more about all of the branding stuff and get inspiration from all of the other BeLivers that we've featured. And of course, if you are already a BeLive user and you're watching this masterclass to learn more and whether to decide is a paid account for you, then just use masterclass upon checkout so you get 30% of the monthly or yearly plan. And as you if like earlier Janet mentioned something awesome, she won actually a design giveaway before in July of last year, I think. So we are doing that today as well. So it's an impromptu giveaway because Janet reminded us how awesome it is. So you can win a design package from our very own designer Kevin. So he will create like a frame and background for you. All you have to do is comment what's one word that you would describe your branding and like the link to your YouTube channel or to your Facebook. And of course, we would love to learn more about you and make sure to join our community in the BeLivers. So just type BeLivers on Facebook and you will find us there and we will welcome you and answer all of your questions as well. So thank you so much for joining and have a great day. Bye.